Bangsamoro Basic Law, PTV Special Forum, kanina inumpisang ipaliwanag sa atin ni Dean Wadi. It is a government within or under the national government. Ano pa po yung features nitong bagong entity na ito na bago sa pandinig natin mga Pilipino, Dean Wadi?
Ang isa pang bago, at least dito sa bagong draft na BBL, parang nag-inject sila ngayon yung bagong, hindi lang termino, pero isang entity na ang tawag ay wali. Sa mga ibang parliamentary government, parang bihirang ginagamit yung wali, except I think sa Iran. But then, iba yung context sa Iran. Iba naman itong sinasabing wali. Wala ito sa framework agreement, wala ito sa comprehensive agreement. I think ang habol dito is para magkaroon ng parang stability in case may magiging unstable yung parliament. Kasi alam mo, ang medyo negative implication ng parliamentary system of government. Pwede kasi magtanggal o pwedeng tanggalin ng parliament yung chief minister na kanilang ilalagay. O di kaya yung chief minister pwede nilang i-dissolve yung parliament. Ngayon, kung walang tatayo dyan na tao, baka magiging may void. So, I think ito yung pumasok yung issue ng wali. Pero ang tanong ko rito, Cathy, well, siguro pwedeng pag-usapan ito sa debate sa Congress. Bakit kailangan mag-inject ng new concept like a wali kung mayroon ka namang sultanate? Halimbawa sa Malaysia, yung may ceremonial function dyan o power dyan, yung sultan Dipartuan Agong, na kung saan may rotational yung role ng sultan. Sa dami ng sultan natin dito sa Mindanao at hindi natin napapakinabangan, why can't we come up with an arrangement na instead of a wali, well, siguro magiging rotational yung arrangement dyan ng sultan sa Mindanao, then they can stand as parang ceremonial authority doon sa parliament. Hindi ko alam kung anong konteksto sinasabi ni Professor Garcia kung bakit may in-inject na bagong konsepto ng wali dito sa ministerial o parliamentary form of government. Siguro si Ana sa OPAP ang pwede mag-explain sa atin.
Si Attorney, pakipaliwanag po sa atin, bakit po kinakailangan nun, ayon nga po kay Dean Wadi, gayong maraming mga sultanate po na existing pa magpasa hanggang ngayon?
Alam niyo yung concept ng wali, I agree with Dean Wadi, that mas maganda sa Congress ma-discuss siya more lengthily. Kasi hindi naman siya necessarily kailangan maging to negate or exclude the sultanate. Kasi ang konsepto ng wali ay isang eminent person from the Bangsamoro, from the area of the Bangsamoro, who will be elected by the parliament. So, hindi necessarily outside the sultanate yun. Maaring mga representative ng sultanato ang mailoklok doon bilang wali. So, para naman sa mga lugar kung saan walang sultanate, may chance din sila na makapag-dominate ang sarili nilang mga residente.
Okay, Cathy, mapali tayo dahil meron tayong kasamang sultan dito.
Oo, tanong natin
sa kanya. Sir, ano po ang thoughts niyo tungkol po dito, sir?
Una-una po, nais kong balikan yung history. Kasi po, nasa ating katanungan ngayon ng sambayan ng Pilipino, kung ano yung pinaglalaban ng Bangsamoro. Now, sa history po, 141 years bago dumating ang Espanyol, nandyan na yung sultanate. This is the reason na kung pwede sana maisama natin sa basic law to pay attention to our sultans, ay napakagandang development. Una po, entrenching the Bangsamoro homeland as a territorial space is una to secure our identity, posterity, and to protect our property rights as well as to establish a government that is suitable and acceptable to us as a distinct dominant people. Now, since this is a political problem, necessary na po na magkaroon ng political settlement. Itong Bangsamoro government, kung ito'y pumasa sa Kongreso at sa plebisito, ito po ay elegant formula na between the state sovereign authority and the self-determination for freedom. like what the MILF are fighting for. So, ang ayaw po natin dito ay yung magkaroon ng palliative or cosmetic formula dahil hindi po matapos-tapos itong problema. So I am hoping that the Royal Sultanate of Sulu, Maguindanao, Lanao will be included. As a matter of fact, when there is an inauguration of the Transitory Commission, I have submitted my position paper to the chairman of the Transitory Commission, Muhagir Iqbal, regarding the giving a specific role to the Sultanate. Dahil during the time, before the coming of the Spaniard, ang Pilipinas, ang Mindanao, Mindanao, Suluan, Palawan, ay napaka-peaceful na po. At ang gobyerno sa oras na yon ay Sultanate. Now, because napapalitan yung masa, why not to include the Sultanate so that we can arrive into a fruitful conclusion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you po, Sultan. At kanina nabanggit ni Dean Wadi yung pagkakaiba ng pamamahala sa ilalim ng ARMM at sa ilalim nitong proposed Bangsamoro entity. Professor Ed, sinabi po na mas malakas yung lehislatura pagdating dito sa proposed Bangsamoro entity. Ibig po ba sabihin nito, pwede silang gumawa ng sarili nilang mga batas sa Bangsamoro?
Opo, maaring gawin ng lehislatura na gumawa ng batas para sa kanilang rehiyon, sa kanilang area. Actually, I was discussing with the Dean. The parliamentary system na envisioned will have 50% of their representatives from the regional political parties, 40%, I understand, from the sectoral representative, one district from every district of the areas, and then the 10% from the sectoral lists, including the indigenous people. So there is a real chance for more meaningful participation of all the sectors in the population. Secondly, and we haven't discussed it yet, it's the economic empowerment, that they will be able to husband the resources, fossil fuels, metallic and non-metallic riches of Mindanao for the development and the betterment of the peoples of Bangsamoro, which is, I think, something that is just and fair, which is a long time in coming. And finally, also the respect for the cultural ways, like Sharia law, like the educational system. So, sa akin kasi ganito I for many years now, for the last 2 decades, I have been involved in peace building in different parts of the world. And what I see in conflict areas is the more you empower the regions or the local areas, the greater or the stronger the national government becomes. So by giving up power, you strengthen the whole country. And that's why I feel this is a very welcome development. It's a development that needs to be supported by everybody, especially the young. I am so thrilled to be here, and our audience is composed essentially of young people. Of course, Sultan, with all due respect, and we also belong to the young at heart, di ba? And so we belong to your generation in some ways, and I think all of us have to really give full support, because in Greek they call this kairos. It's the opportune time. Kung hindi ngayon, like when I was in UP, sabi namin, kung hindi tayo, sino? Kung hindi ngayon, kailan? Kung hindi ito, saan? It's our chance. We cannot afford to squander it. For me, this is a wonderful, timely opportunity.
Yes. Professor Ed, nabanggit nyo nga po na pwede silang gumawa ng sariling batas. Paano po kung ito ay sumasalungat dun sa mga batas na na-existing? Paano po ang mangyayari at anong susundin?
Essentially, you see, the framers of the basic law were serious, dead serious, to ensure that it is within the constitutional framework. Kaya, if you remember, in the early years of the struggle, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was actually separation. But now they say, no, we want to belong to the Republic of the Philippines. So therefore, there is this deep desire to work within that constitutional framework. So therefore, I would presume na yung members ng Parliament would all want to ensure that the laws they frame are within this constitutional framework. Otherwise, they would be remiss in ensuring that the mandate that they hold is followed through.
Oh, kanina Kati nabanggit ni Professor Ed yung young generation. Tanungin natin si Yasmira. Yasmira, meron ba kayong mga proyekto to the young generations kung paano natin mai-uplift pa yung mga young Moro, especially na makatulong doon sa pagganda ng ekonomiya pagdating ng Bangsamoro region?
Currently, we are doing this Kwentuhang Bangsamoro. This is more of an activity-based, school-based siya actually, where we partner with institutions like Miriam College or Saint Scholastica so far, and then sometime in last year we have De La Salle, St. Piniel, wherein we actually do dialogue with our fellow youth. And kasi very important now is the consciousness. Kasi for me as a youth, I think we need to, yung tinatawag natin na, yung paradigm shift na we have to we address yung tinatawag natin na mind setting, like there is a goal, and so how could we get there? And this Bangsamoro draft na law is, we are hoping na among the youth, we could discuss this, like social media is a very good stuff, and we are also doing that. And of course, lastly, in Mindanao, since we also have our local chapters there, is we do community works and then discuss among our community grassroots leaders kung ano ba talaga yung papaano tayo magkakaroon ng proactive na solution in trying to really see a holistic na participation dito sa BBL, since ito din yung tinatawag na inclusive development.
Marami pa pong mga katanungan para sa ating mga panauhin mula sa ating kasamang si Princess. Princess?
Yes, Kathy. At syempre, naiintindihan natin tayong mga taga Mindanao kung ano ba itong mga nangyayari for the Bangsamoro government na ating binubuo. Pero syempre, may mga katanungan pa rin ang ating mga kababayan, especially yung mga non-Muslim. So here we go. Meron tayong ditong katanungan si Chelsea Sapno. Chelsea?
This question is for Dr. Dipatuan. The draft basic law creates Bangsamoro offices that exercise functions related to those vested in constitutional bodies. My question, sir, is how will these bodies related to each other?
Ulit daw.
Pakiulit daw po ng tanong.
The question na lang po is, how will the draft basic law creates Bangsamoro offices that exercises functions related to those vested in constitutional bodies. My question is, how will these bodies related to each other po?
These institutions that will be created under the Bangsamoro entity will be designed in such a way that they will be performing different tasks. Of course, in the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, which is during the transition period, all the government institutions that are already existing in the ERMM will still be there, because you cannot change the governance in the ERMM overnight. So with regards to the other, if you're referring to constitutional bodies, such as, for example, COMELEC, Civil Service Commission, there is the Bangsamoro government is going to pass a Bangsamoro election code in the ERMM before the election in 2016. This is because, in the Philippine government setting now, we have a presidential unitary form of government. And the election that we have is suited to a presidential unitary setup. So in as much as in the Bangsamoro, it will be a ministerial parliamentary setup. So you have to design an election code that will be suited to a ministerial parliamentary setup. So this is how things will work in the Bangsamoro.
Just a follow-up question, Dr. Dipatuan. Ang ibig po ba sabihin nito, yung mga empleyado po ng existing agencies na sa ARMM ay hindi po mawawalan ng trabaho at hindi po bubuwagin yung kani-kanila mga ahensya?
Okay, this is a very good question, and I'm thankful that you raised this question because this is a chance for us to give assurance to the people in the ARMM that they are not going to be displaced simply because the Bangsamoro government is coming. There are disinformation or misinformation that are roaming around in the Bangsamoro communities that all those who are in civil service are going to be resigned in mass. And this is not going to happen because if you do that, then you will create a vacuum and that will be a formula for failure. So if ever there is going to be a reform in the Bangsamoro, it will have to be done in a graduated manner.
Okay, Princess?
Alright, at may isa pa tayong katanungan dito, Kirby, si Yen Kiling. Yen?
Magandang gabi po. Yung question ko po kay kay Dean Wadi po. Paano po yung proseso ng kanilang election under po the Bangsamoro government and yung mga qualifications tsaka kung gaano po kahaba yung termino po nila?
Well, doon sa election, I think party na yan nung sinasabi ni Dr. Dipatuan doon sa electoral code na buuin. Tingin ko i-itemize yung mga qualifications na yun. At klaro naman I think sa itong draft na BBL na mayroong body i-create, electoral body i-create sa Bangsamoro, but then it's still part of the Commission on Election. So, tingin ko, in fact, hindi lang sa part ng election, pati I think sa issue ng auditing. Lahat yan. Ibig sabihin, yung mga major bodies or constitutional bodies sa national government, magkakaroon din. Karamihan dyan sa Bangsamoro. So, kasama na yun yung election. Pero, isingit ko, Cathy, no, yung ito, parang napaka-specific concern ko. Although nabanggit sa BBL yung issue ng political parties.
Yes.
Pero parang nakulangan ko sa diin. Kasi tingin ko critical ang question kung ano ang relationship ng national political party at saka yung regional political parties. Kasi alam mo, yung structure pwede mong gawan ng batas yan. Pero yung batas sa politika, mahirap yon. Lalong-lalo na sa kasaysayan ng bansa, ay ang daming mga political butterflies.
Yes.
Gapangan dyan, gapangan dito. Ang parang tawag dito, ang fear ko, agam-agam ko, is baka kakainin o kaya gagapangin ng national political parties, ma-dominate ng national political parties ang mga regional political parties hanggang sa yun ang magdikta ng mood o trend ng development sa region. And that will defeat the very purpose of devolution, of decentralization, and so on and so forth. Ang sinasabi ko, sana ma-insulate yung political parties sa region at hindi mapakialaman ng mga national political parties para sa ganun, lalago talaga ang demokrasya dyan sa Bangsamoro ayon sa kultura nila at ayon sa kanilang kagustuhan na hindi madidiktahan ng mga political parties.
At para
sa
rin po hindi magamit ang Bangsamoro para sa mga national posts.
Precisely.
Okay, Attorney Basman, meron po ba tayong safeguards para po dyan sa pagpasok ng mga political parties?
Alam mo, nag-agree ako kay Dean Wadi na napaka-importante na genuine yung political parties na may elect dito sa parliament at hindi yung kontrolado lang ng national political parties. Kaya nakalagay sa Bangsamoro Basic Law na kailangan regional political party ka, duly registered with the Bangsamoro Electoral Office o yun ngang COMELEC na magiging opisina doon sa Bangsamoro. So, pero ultimately, nasa ating mga botante yan kung ang bibigyan natin ng importansya ay yung dummy o puppet ng isang national political party o yung genuinely regional political party. So may mga nilagay na gantong safeguards pero ang assurance comes from the electorate themselves. It will have to be come from the political maturity of the voters in the Bangsamoro for themselves determine and once and for all state na hindi kami magpapakontrol sa national politics.
Okay. Kati, ako naman may katanungan kay Don. Don, bilang nagma-masters ka ng Women and Development, do you think doon sa Bangsamoro Basic Law na isinumiti ngayon sa Kongreso, tama na ba yung pagprotekta para sa ating mga kababaihan doon? At kung ikaw ang bibigyan ng pagkakataon, do you think meron pa bang dapat ihabol pa?
Kapag usapan natin yung BBL, kasi iba naman kasi yung konteksto ng Muslim or ng Bangsamoro in general. Kung feminist perspective naman, respeto din naman sa kultura at kung titingnan ko, malaki nang naibahagi ng kababaihan doon eh. Naging bahagi ng kababaihan sa areas of building, sa peace building developments, tsaka sa pagbuo ng BBL. Sa BBL, nakasaad din na may representasyon din ng kababaihan. So, nakasaad din yun yung political empowerment, economic empowerment, tsaka cultural empowerment din ng kababaihan. So, holistic na siya. So, kung merong pang idadagdag, probably, ako, naniniwala naman ako na marami naman tayong kaalyado na kababaihan na mamabata sa Senado tsaka sa Kongreso. Probably we can have that for debate and other dialogues pa.
Isa sa mahalagang punto rin dito sa Bangsamoro Basic Law, yung pagbibigay nga ng fiscal autonomy sa Bangsamoro entity. Pakipaliwanag po sa atin yan, attorney.
Sa Bangsamoro Basic Law, sinabi na magkakaroon ng fiscal autonomy, ginagaranti ang fiscal autonomy para sa Bangsamoro kasi alam naman natin na hindi genuine ang autonomy ng isang government unit kapag siya ay dependent sa iba pang government unit katulad ng national government. Kaya ang isa sa mga naisip na i-institute sa Bangsamoro ay yung annual block grant o yung automatically appropriated and regularly released na percentage ng National Internal Revenue Collections, automatic na ilalagay yan sa General Appropriations Act para i-release agad sa Bangsamoro. Unlike the current setup right now for ARM where the budget of the ARM is similar to other government agencies where they go to Congress and defend line by line their budget, which doesn't give much flexibility when it comes to implementation. The Bangsamoro will receive this amount and then it is up to them to pass their own budget act or appropriations act. So yun yung isa sa mga magagandang setups o mekanismo para i-ensure yung fiscal autonomy for this Bangsamoro. Kasama din dyan yung mga increased revenue-generating activities for the Bangsamoro, tulad na nabanggit kanina, yung greater share in national taxes, a greater share in the national wealth, at saka yung iba pang mekanismo para makakalap ang Bangsamoro ng mga funds niya para ma-finance ang kanyang operations.
Okay, mekanismo para makakalap pa ng iba't ibang pondo. Yan ang ating iba pang pag-uusapan sa pagbabalik po yan ng PTV Special Forum.